Hey everybody, this is your main man here, Tracy G. Jackson, and welcome to Real Talk with Tracy G. Jackson. Okay, so I just want to talk about something. Welcome to this, and I wanted to share my thoughts on the whole Charmed reboot and why I think that some of the, not all, so don't get offended, but some stuff should be left alone. So about a few months ago in May, I had saw the trailer for the CW's reboot of Charmed, and it's a modern day version. And personally, I I don't like it. And the reason why I have nothing against reboots, but the reason why I'm so focused on why I think the Charmed reboot should not be a good thing is due to the fact that when Charmed first premiered almost 20 years ago, October 7th, 1998, um, it was the first, it was, I was like in kindergarten, and it was on the WB. The first season it aired on Wednesday nights after Dawson's Creek. And it had a lot of impact. And like the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was all about female empowerment. And most of these three sisters who happen to be witches, they all live in their grandmother's house. You had the first three seasons. You had Prue, played by Shannon Dorothy of Beverly Hills 90210. You had Holly Marie Combs and as Piper, the middle sister, and then you had Phoebe. For those who don't know, in the original pilot, when the original unaired pilot, which you could look up on YouTube, Phoebe was actually played by actress Laurie Rowe. You may not have heard of her, but you may not know of her, but she actually originally played Phoebe Hollowell, and Chris Boyd played Andy Trevu, Prue's love interest. So it was a lot different from the movie, from the show when it got picked up. Unfortunately, I did not see the pilot until later. For those who don't know, Constance Ann Burge, she was under contract with Spelling Television, and some people's Wikipedia say 20th Century Fox Television, but I don't know if that's true or not because I don't know if 20th Century Fox ever produced Charm. Yeah, she came up with the idea because her last show on the WB, which was her first series, it was a primetime soap called Savannah, and it starred George Eads of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, and Jamie Luner, who would later go on to play Lexi Sterling in Fox's Melrose Place. Um, it lasted. It was a good hit the first season. It was a good, and then the second season it went downhill because it moved to Monday nights, the same night that Melrose Place aired on Fox, and so it got canceled. Um, then because of that, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was like a mid-season replacement during the fall night for the 1996 and 1997 television season, um, it it impacted feminism. So when so they wanted to do, so she wanted to develop this idea of a group of sisters who happened to be witches, and the series got picked up. But then, as soon when the series got picked up, Lori Rome, who she she uh she couldn't make the commitment due to the fact that his because it went against her religious beliefs. So Alyssa Milano ended up taking the role of Phoebe, and it was a good on the set. Shannon Dorothy and Alyssa Milano got along, but then all of a sudden they started having conflict, and so the only time Shannon and Alyssa ever talked to each other was when their characters talked. They did not talk on set. They did not talk off set. I don't know what happened, but all I know is that near the end of the third season, Alyssa Milano told Aaron Spelling that she could not take it no more. Either Shannon leaves or I leave. Unfortunately, Shannon Dorothy left, and they were to replace someone to play Prue Hollowell. Jennifer Love Hewitt was in mind, and Tiffany Amber Deason, who replaced Shannon Dorothy in Beverly Hills 90210. And then they decided, well, let's just kill off Prue, and let's just leave her dead. And so, in the fourth season, they gave Piper and Phoebe a sister they didn't even know of, and that sister was named Paige Matthews. And for those who don't know, Charisma Carpenter and Eliza Dushku were considered to play Paige, but Faith was already committed. Eliza was already playing Faith on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Charisma was playing Cordelia in the spinoff Angel. Ironically, after Angel ended, Charisma Carpenter ended up playing one of Asir in the seventh season. So Rose McGowan, who ended up taking the role of Paige, and so from the second season up until the end of the fourth season, Charmed aired on Thursday nights, and so around during the summer of 2002, Charmed moved to Sunday nights at an earlier time at 7 p.m. And so from there, it stayed there up until its end of its run. And when Charmed ended, it ended 8 seasons. And that was the last, and it was its final season. And the final show to get canceled, and because it was I was in 7th grade. Actually, I was finishing 7th grade in the summer 2006. I was getting ready for 8th grade. It didn't get. They had a spinoff for a Mermaid spinoff for the CW when the WB and UPN were going to merge from the fall of 2006 to become what is now known as the CW. And so so I honestly don't know why they want to reboot stuff like that, because I grew up with the original Charm, and I cannot see anybody else playing the power of 3 or 4 other than Shannon, Holly Marie, and Alyssa, and Rose, and later Rose. And another thing, people are trying to reboot Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's another show that I really like and I grew up to, because Buffy the Vampire Slayer really put the WB on the map, and it was all about female empowerment. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer was created because number one, it was Joss Whedon's thing, and Joss Whedon had a movie. He written the screenplay of the movie. They made some changes he did not like, and the movie, it was Kirsty Swanson played the role of Buffy, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, who originally auditioned for the role of Cordelia, and there were several actresses who auditioned for Buffy before Sarah got the role. Katie Holmes was in mind, and Selma Blair. Also, Julie Benz, Charisma Carpenter, and this is a well-known fact. When Charisma Carpenter auditioned for the role of Buffy, she was on Malibu Shores, and Malibu Shores starred Carrie Russell of Felicity and MMC, the All New Mickey Mouse Club, and along with her then boyfriend Tony Luca. The series ended in June of '96, when Charisma auditioned for Buffy, she came in for overalls, a leather jacket and some sandals. Yeah, and then she ended up getting Cordelia, and that's the reason and why how Buffy the Vampire Slayer has a very impact. It has a cult following even after its seventh season one, and spinoff Angel. Now Angel I like a lot mainly due to the fact that it has more of a dark tone, but it didn't 5 seasons kind of like but while Buffy the Vampire was all about female empowerment, Angel, however, was he vampire with a soul, and he was helping those who lost their way. But the difference, even though Hercules was Xena was a spinoff of Hercules, Xena was also about female empowerment. So I cannot honestly see how you would reboot something like Charmed and Buffy the Vampire Slayer when the original shows have a cult following. Being and only and Buffy had several novels ties in. They had several calendars, merchandise. They even had two video games, actually four. The ones from the you had one for Game Boy Color, and the Xbox game came out in 2002. For those who don't know, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Xbox game was originally developed for PlayStation and Sega Dreamcast and the PC. Supposed to be released both. It was meant to be. It was when it was in development. It was supposed to be released in the fall of 2000 via PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast, and PC. And then the release was postponed until spring 2001. But then Sega Dreamcast stock was discontinued, and PlayStation 2 had already came out, so it moved to development, moved to Xbox. And but when it came ironically, the summer, August 2003, after Buffy ended its 7 season run, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds was released on both PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Both Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Xbox game, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds are backwards compatible to Xbox 360. I'm just waiting for those two to be compatible with Xbox One. And Chaos Bleeds is also backwards compatible with the Nintendo Wii. It really has a cult following. I don't understand why you want to reboot two series. Mainly Charmed, and people want to reboot Buffy. Now, I'm all for a supportive continuation or continuation revival. Yes. But I honestly don't see why you would reboot something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Charmed. And for those who don't know, Roswell, another WB show, is also getting rebooted as well. Now, Roswell lasted 2 seasons on the WB and then only lasted 1 season on UPN. So it was 3 seasons. Roswell moved to UPN the same time Buffy the Vampire Slayer did. The only difference is Roswell lasted only 1 season on UPN, while Buffy went on for two more seasons, two more seasons and 44 more episodes. So you had 5 seasons and 100 episodes plus 2 more seasons and 44. You get 7 seasons and 144 episodes. So I don't see how you can reboot something that was great and had a cultural impact on something. It really doesn't make sense. Like, I grew up watching Buffy and Charmed and Angel and Dawson. All of these shows were perfect. I have nothing against reboots at all, but I honestly don't think that you should reboot something like Charmed or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Roswell. It just doesn't have, and I know new generation is we have a new generation of people but we have new generation of younger fans devoted to a cult following like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Charmed, young and old. Anybody can be a fan of a show that has a cult following, but I don't see how you could reboot something like Charm. And I know because this is nothing new. They rebooted a lot of shows. They rebooted Hawaii 5-0. And Hawaii 5-0 is a good show. But that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the whole reboots on Charmed and Buffy. How are you gonna let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe and support my platform at Will Talk Tracy G Jackson. Just type in Real Talk with Tracy TRACY Jackson to subscribe. Okay, take care and have a good day. Peace.